What is crack-a-lackin', everybody? It's JT the OCG. Good to be back here. So, what I'm going to do is a simple video today. Simply because just want to see if my voice can keep up over a video before I start doing some other things. But here is just how to do full 30-team control in MLB The Show. Real simple. I mean, it's the most. I think it's the best to have 30-team control out of all the sports franchises. It's not exactly intuitive, hence this little tutorial. Now, what you're going to have when you first start up is you're going to have casual, simulation, competitive. Usually what you want to do, depending on what you want to do simulation. And then what you're going to do, as you can see where I got the user, you're going to put your gameplay the way you want it, presentation, and audio, all that stuff. But then you're going to go to mode specific, and it's down here where you can see from mine, I do everything manual except for scouting, which I do auto because I don't like the scouting in this game. It is a weak part of MLB The Show. So you do that, and then of course what you're going to do is you're going to set the user here as your default preset, because this is going to be you. You could also set your favorite team. I got it as the Pirates here. It doesn't really make a difference, and of course you save it for whatever you want. All you have to do then, like you see here with this, you just go down to the specific one, and here I got the computer, and I do my changes here on the computer. Now, for me, I recommend for lineups and 40-man, you do manual. You could do everything else to auto, but these are the two that you really want to do manual for 30-team control. They really botched the 40-man roster, leaving way too many good prospects on the Rule 5 draft. And their lineups and rotations are all screwy sometimes. Me, I do roster moves manual because they don't care who they call up to replace another player, but if there's a prospect that's a 19-year-old prospect, you really don't want him called up to AAA to replace some guy that's going to be out for 10 to 15 days. That harms his development. Same thing with if you have, use San Diego Padres here. They got C.J. Abrams, who is an A potential shortstop. With Tatis, if Tatis is injured, he's not injured in my franchise that I'll be doing, but if he's suspended, you don't want to bring C.J. Abrams up to replace a guy for 10 to 15 days. That's not good for a young player. Those are the players that you want when you bring them up. They're up for good, unless they really, really fail. You want to give them a longer leash to fail. Let's use more example of the Brewers. So you got Urias, who's their third baseman. If he gets injured for 10 to 15 days, you got a 31-year-old Jace Peterson in AAA. That's the kind of guys that you want to bring up to replace guys that they're injured for just a short period of time, because that's what they're there for. For the most part, those are the guys that you call up to replace these guys, and then you send them back down. That doesn't hurt a veteran guy. He knows what he's there for. I also do injury management. This has to go with the roster move, so I do that for manual as well, and that's to free things up. It's also for if you have a guy that's got a good contract, but he is stinking up the joint. Let's say it's Dallas Keuchel for the White Sox, who is basically, this is probably going to be his last year in the league. I think in real life, he's bounced around 3 teams already, Dallas Keuchel. If you got a guy like that and he gets injured for 10 days, using the injury management, you could put him on the 60-day DL, right? You can get rid of him. It's one of those phantom injuries, right? So you could kind of, I can't really send you down. I have to DFA you and then pay you money. But if I put you on the 60-day DL, put you at the bottom of the bullpen, that kind of stuff. Or if you're out for the rest of the year, that's even better if you're doing that bad and we're paying you a good contract. It's just more cost effective than DFAing. And then I do the manual for the management, because the worst thing this MLB The Show is when it comes to managers and coaches. You can't edit them. You can't edit their uniform numbers. You can't extend them, which means in my last series with the Baltimore Orioles, I did a 3-year series with them. First 2 years, the Toronto Blue Jays won back-to-back World Series again, because they did in 92 and 93. But there, they won. Third year, Charles Montoya wasn't extended. His contract was just up. So technically, if I didn't do this for Manuel, Montoya would be on a different team after winning back-to-back World Series. That's ridiculous. So I do this for Manuel, and unfortunately what I have to do is screenshots of the freaking... I have to do screenshots of the management before the end of the year. And I hope I don't forget. I write myself little notes, but then I put the managers and the coaches, unless the coaches are going to be like managerial material for managers that get fired. But I do this for Manuel. And again, another thing is if I want to fire a team, like if the Yankees don't make the playoffs this year, Aaron Boone's gone. I'm going to fire Aaron Boone if the Yankees this year don't make the postseason, right? Because he's had a long enough time, and the Yankees are the Yankees. That type of thing. What else? Trades, free agents, all that kind. Anyway, so you do that and you move specific. Then you're going to save this, and you're going to save it as a new preset, and you save it computer, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So now you have your two settings. Another thing you want to do before you go in, if you like to play the minor league team or the minor league games of your teams, or if you're doing custom teams like I do, you want to go to recent uploads and you want to find some of these teams, right? So you got you can find different stadiums. I think Chick-fil-A is a minor league stadium. I'm not sure. Might be. But if you want something like that, you can save it for your minor league teams. Another thing is make sure you have your rosters. Sliders we'll talk about after. So now you have your two users. Now you have your two user settings, right? And the last thing I would say is before you start a franchise, make sure you play like some of this crap they want you to play, Diamond Dynasty or Road to the Show, so that you get enough stubs, which is ridiculous for me to I just like to play franchise. I don't like to play any of those other things. But to get your unlockables, and the unlockables that you want for franchise are sponsorships. You want these sponsorships. So I collect enough stubs so I could buy these overpriced freaking sponsorships, right? And I'll show you exactly why there. So we have our two user settings. We have our stadiums. You have your roster to fix whatever you want. Then you go to franchise. And when you highlight it, instead of just pressing the A button, you got X for more options. You want to make sure that you start new and load your roster. So now you got your roster. Now, here's where you're going to select all. And then you see the R there. That is the right thumb stick. So you're going to change all these guys to CPU. Now, say, for example, you got a custom team. This is where you could create one or you can load an existing one. Now, for me, I got the Expos. Make sure you change that to CPU as well. I don't like the Guardian's name. That's me. So you do all the CPU, and of course here I got Miami because, again, I don't think that baseball should be played in the summertime in Florida and Arizona. Those are for spring training in my eyes. And so I like the fact that I can do this. I like the fact that you could do a stadium, you could create your own stadiums, and you could create a team to go wherever you want. Of course, because they don't have full customization, which I really hate, I really wish I could change it so I can only have the National League East and the National League West, and only the winner of those two divisions face off in the division series, and then that winner goes to the World Series. I would like something like that next year. I doubt it'll happen, but I would like customization. I would also like the customization where I could move teams. I want full customization for next year. I doubt we're going to get it, but that would be nice. So we have all this. Now here's my user team. So I keep that as user. All this. And then I think my last custom team is going to be the Portland Beavers. And even if you make a mistake here, it's not the end of the world. So I just do one more look over, make sure I got everything. And everything looks hunky-dory. So we're going to click advance. And then here's the big one. Don't do this. You want that off. You already have your 30-team control. You don't want to touch this. This is the biggest mistake most new players make when it comes to doing full team control for your franchise. This will make sure that trades, injuries, budgets won't happen. Now I like to ignore budgets because every once in a while there is a team that's a little lower on the totem pole that might want to go for it. That happens. So that force trades I always put on just in case. I think I've only used this once in the last 3 iterations of MLB The Show. But there's some things where I go, oh, this is going to be a good trade because it's a salary dump trade, right? So you're not getting a lot in return. You're getting maybe 3 prospects, but you're dumping a huge salary for a guy that's just not good anymore, but could be a good pinch hitter or something for a pennant team, a team trying to go to the World Series. Designated hitter I got off because my franchise is going to be a 1970s, 1980s. So we're going to have more stolen bases, less strikeouts, less walks, more doubles, more triples, less home runs. That's what I want. So extra inning and designated hitter off. So advance. Again, you could do whatever you want. Here, don't even worry about this one. I do it as manual. And don't worry that it says the Orioles because guess what? Yeah, I mean, the Orioles are the CPU. So it thinks it's another user team. You understand? It thinks it's another user team, but it's not. It's the computer team. Everything, all that stuff that's going to be auto is going to be auto for them, right? So I just do manual just to make sure. Now here, you could do regular season, not a problem. It'll go right to exactly what your rosters are doing with the 26-man roster. But I like to do spring training just because I like to get the feel of the game before I go into the full season. Thing is, with spring training, here's the big thing. You must, before this game is played, make sure that you have your team down to the 26-man roster you want, or else the computer will do it for you, and it will show no logic or consistency in doing so. Spring training, you have your 40-man roster. Of course, you have no non-roster invites or anything like that because this is just a skeleton because their franchise hasn't changed in 4 years, which is a damn shame. But you have the 40-man roster here. And if you don't do this, they're going to send guys down on waivers and all this kind of jazz, and you just don't want that. So unfortunately, the big thing is if you start in spring training, you're going to have to go through every team, and make sure that you put it down and make sure that their rosters and their pitching rotation. I should have shown this differently. I should have shown this before we went to spring training, right? But another thing that you have to do for full team control, the best thing to do for rotation is to have 6 starting pitchers on your staff. The last starting pitcher is going to be in your last middle relief spot. You're not going to have a guy in this second setup role because they don't know how to use the second setup role. Yeah, that's kind of sad, isn't it? It's horribly sad for a franchise user to say that if you left everything up to the computer, they would have a guy that's very talented, an 85 or an 83 relief pitcher, in the second setup, and he would get 10 innings pitched, or he would pitch 10 to 20 innings for the year. Ridiculous. And what you want to do is you also want to have two guys here in the long relief spots, but they got to have low stamina. They can't have high stamina. Now for my roster, I changed everything. So if I changed every pitcher, so if a pitcher is a relief pitcher and he has, he was a former starter, or if he has 4 pitches, like Dylan Tate has 4 pitches, he has a 25 stamina. If he's the prototypical reliever, like Bautista here, who's just going to be a dominant closer, and he's got 3 pitches, and basically he throws that slider splitter combination for the most part, he's got 20 stamina. And for the guys that you could set up, you can make a starting pitcher, I have 35 stamina. And these guys are flagged. So these guys, Connor Green and Keegan Aiken, what happens is, say Bradish, Zimmerman, and Wells actually get injured, right? Wells is out for 60 days. Bradish is out for 30 days. And Zimmerman's out for 15 days. Instead of calling up some guy from AAA who might not be doing well just because he's a starting pitcher, what I'll do is I'll edit Keegan Aiken. I'll give him like 66 or 68 stamina and change him from a relief pitcher to a starting pitcher, and then I'll place him in there. See, this is where you can get as much control as you want. Or maybe Connor Green is doing hell of a good job as a relief pitcher, and Matt Harvey is just, he's done. He's just done. But say you're paying him this $2 million, right, until 2024. So you don't want to DFA him because no one's going to pick him up, and you're going to have to foot the bill for Matt Harvey. So what you could do is you could change Harvey to a relief pitcher, change Connor Green to a starting pitcher, and switch their spots, right? And you could bury Harvey into this second long relief pitcher. So you're still paying him to pitch, but he's not doing as much damage as he would as a starting pitcher, right? That's how the real world works when it comes to you make money. You know, we can't just like send you to AAA. Matt Harvey would not be sent to AAA, right? He would be DFA'd and he would elect free agency. That's what would happen to Matt Harvey. But the problem is that you have to pay him for the DFA. So the best thing to do for Matt Harvey, if he really sucks this year, is to basically either, you got Jordan Lyles here. He's got 82 stamina. He is a starting pitcher, as you can see. Replace him and put Matt Harvey here. But if you have injuries as well, you might want to make, or if Jordan Lyles is not doing so well as a relief pitcher here, he's not doing horrible, but he's not doing great, and Connor Green is doing great, you might want to change Connor Green to a starting pitcher and do that, right? And change Matt Harvey to a relief pitcher. So you're all done and dandy. That's it for that. Then we have here where you just want to check on the user settings. And there's a little particular thing over here where you can see the preset associations. And here you can double check to make sure everyone is computer except Pittsburgh, who is my user team. Okay, so you accept that, you're all good there. Then you could come here and do your, where is it? Stadium assignments. So you could do your stadium assignments here. And we're going to go over to Pittsburgh, my team Pittsburgh. And for Pittsburgh, I have my team. So I'm going to RB from the minor leagues, their minor leagues with their fake ballparks. And I can go to the real life ballpark of the Altoona Curve, which is People's Natural Gas Field. Now, it's not the best one because it has a Ferris wheel out there in right field, but really all it has is a roller coaster. So, but this one looks, the left field and the center field look perfect for what People's Natural Gas Field looks like. So I'm okay with having a Ferris wheel because you can also see that there is the roller coaster out there in right field as well. Now, again, for my AAA team, the Indianapolis Indians, which they have no problem saying Indianapolis Indians, but for some reason they don't have Indians as a voice for the guys. If you actually change the Cleveland Guardians back to the Cleveland Indians. So you got Victory Field here for the Indianapolis Indians. So there you could do all that. Then what you want is, you know what? You don't have it here. Darn it. Maybe I shouldn't have done. Maybe I shouldn't have done spring training for this. But there will be, down here after spring training, I mean, you could do your contract extensions and everything, right? But down here, you're going to see sponsorship deals. So that's what you want for the sponsorship deals after the fact. I think, I don't think there's not going to be anything here. So there's that. And then the last thing you want is the sliders. Now for sliders, I have 2 sets of sliders. I have simulation sliders and I have the sliders when I play. So when I play, here are my sliders. So because I'm trying to do a 70s, 80s thing, I'm lowering power, I'm increasing contact and solid hits. Also doing the same thing with stamina. Same thing for the computer, except I don't lower their timing. So it's not a handicap for them. For me, I do control consistency and strike frequency for the computer down 1 notch. That is because it doesn't hurt the computer, it hurts me. Because this is where I start chasing. Because if I have this at default, I know where the pitcher's going to throw the ball. I know what the pitcher's going to try to do. And I'm going to take too many walks and I'm not going to strike out enough. Here, I'm going to sit there and go, how the hell did he throw that ball and make me chase it? I did not see that one coming. Or he's going to throw it right down the freaking middle. And I got to go, I wasn't expecting that. So that's why I do that. This is all up to you guys. You could up this or lower it. I keep it so this makes the freaking computer pitcher a little bit unpredictable. They're still going to try to do the make you chase with 2 strikes and all that kind of good jazz. But here I just find that sometimes it drives me crazy because a pitch will be in a place that I'm not expecting it at all. And I do get a lot of strikes where they just clip the freaking top of the strike zone with this. And I get caught looking. I love it. And so that's just my recommendation. Second thing here is when you're playing, fielding errors infield. I have it at 2. Guys that play it, you're probably seen it where it's they dive and it boots off their glove. Happens way too much for the infield. I despise it. This does away with that. So either they're going to miss it or they're going to actually make a good glove play and try to throw from their knees. Fielding errors outfield, up this, it might bounce out of their glove. Now, very rarely do I see it called an error. I have seen it called an error where they drop the ball. But most of the time it isn't, which is something that MLB show really needs to fix is the recording of errors. There's way too many errors that they call a base hit. Throwing errors infield, this is self-explanatory. Thing is, you don't see enough errors in the game. You just don't. Throwing errors outfield, this is where you see way too many overshooting the cutoff man. I don't know what the hell's going on with this game this year, but this lowers that kind of crap. Then we have the fielder running speed and reaction. I have this down low. This is just for me. You'll find that the game plays a whole lot different when you have all this kind of stuff. It's not out of the norm. You're not going to get 20 triples, but you're going to see a lot of better hit balls, a lot of ones going into the gap where it's still going to be a double, but it looks so much better. I don't know how to describe it. The fielder's going to take a different route to the ball than he does in the normal game without these things lowered. Base runner speed is down just a tad. Those are up a tick. Wind is here. Gameplay frequency is up all the way, so there's going to be more injuries during that. Now for this, I don't know why I had a new tab open. I have two things that I also used during my franchise to make it even more a little bit unpredictable. So for the wind, before we go to the game, you got 1 through 10 on random.org here. You just generate. It's going to be not a windy day. It's only going to be 2 winds, so I click down the wind to 2 for that day. The big thing is you got to make sure, and I'll do the games, and then you got the playing card shuffler. So we're going to draw 3 cards from one deck. Make sure that you have the black joker and the red joker checked. Don't care about that. We draw the cards. And we got this little thing, got from Operation Sports. I tend to use the one on the bottom. I used to do both of them at the same time, but it seems like, for the most part, like Jack of Diamonds, if I do Jack, outfield error +1, fielding error. So we're going to have 9 for that one for this game. But if I go up here, it's the same thing. So I usually ignore that. So I'll just do it +1, right? Jack of Hearts, infield fielding error. Oh, we're going to have an airfield game this game. Now, if I go to Jack of Hearts here, it's the same thing, so I kind of ignore it. 5 of Clubs, pitching consistency. So he's going to be wild this game. But if I go up here, 5, it's the same thing. I'm trying to see. Okay, so what if I had the 3 of Clubs? It would be reaction +1, and it would be solid hits -1 for the computer. I'll do both of these. So as long as it doesn't, I mean, some people will actually say, yeah, do both of them. But if it's a duplicate, I don't really care. And now you can only use the top one. You can only use the bottom one. Doesn't really matter. And then you can't really see the rain game. But if you see, here it goes, rain game. Move wind slider and throwing errors for all up 1, right? So you have more wind and you're going to have more errors. So with these cards drawn, and if it was a rain game, which you won't know until you click on the game itself and it says rain, this might be one of those games where you have 3 errors on one side and 2 errors on the other side. And that makes it such a more dynamic game, and I really love that. And again, you can either freeze this and screenshot it right now, right here, and keep it for your own, or I believe it's on Operation Sports Forum under MLB. So that's another thing I do for that. And then, but when you make those changes, you got to make sure that for the sliders, you don't save it. Like, you'll confirm it, and it'll say, do you want to save these? You say no. Or else your slider's going to be all out of whack for what you want. So, then I have my file management, load, simulation sliders. And the simulation sliders are technically all the same, except we have, when it comes, everyone's the computer. Even your team's the computer during that time. So what I do there is I don't really, I keep the reliever stamina, I take it down 2 clicks. So that way they use more relievers. Because if you keep it up here, they're going to have relievers pitch 2 or 3 innings. And you're going to see relievers with like at bats because, well, I would see relievers at bats because I'm not using a DH. So you really don't want to use this. This makes it so because all your pitchers have like low stamina, hopefully 20s or something, you're going to use more relievers. But the big one here is to up every error to 9. Now, you might want to replace this as 8 if you see too many errors, but with my roster and the changes I made to my roster, 9 is good. I'll see games with no errors, but then I'll see games with 4 errors, like 3 on one side, 1 on another. And at the end of the year, when I did my test franchise, this is what I saw. I saw guys getting gold gloves that deserve the gold gloves. With all of this on default, I saw, I'm kidding you not, I saw Kyle Schwarber have a gold glove, and oh my God, I saw the former catcher there of the Yankees. I forgot his name, but he's on the Twins now. I saw him get a freaking gold glove. The worst defensive catcher in the league. Has so many freaking pass balls, is unbelievable, but he won a gold glove. This makes sure that they get enough errors where they're not even close to sniffing this. And then I think I put the gameplay and I put the simulator injury frequency to 6. So that's essentially what I do. That's it. So this simulation injury is just to lower the reliever stamina. Again, your user team will be the computer here as well when it's getting simulated, and to make sure errors are up so that they actually work. I also put 9 because, again, I'm doing like a whole universe where the ball is more dead, it's softer, so fielders are going to have like a bad time with it the first year. And to make sure that I have the simulator injury the way I want it. So I can't show you the sponsorship, so that's the big thing. Last thing here is to get rid of annoyance, you might want to go here. It's a big pain in the ass the first time you do it, but if you go through and all these teams you just want to do off, I wish you could just kind of do it universal, but unfortunately what happens is now you got to go to the next team, the Red Sox, click on the inbox, delete these and go to settings and do off, off, off. Now, if you do off for all these things, but for your user team, you keep it on, that's perfect. Then you can see everything pop up in that inbox if you want. Personally, I don't because, again, I keep track of everything. So I always I know what all the transactions are. So we did that. We did all those things. Sliders. I think that's it. So let me just show you, go back. And with all of my sliders and my user settings, I'll show you exactly. These are the ones where they're coming back. So what I would do, I always place on the bench, but what I'll do is I'll have Seawolves, AA, Brisky. Right? So I know to check them and find out that. Same thing here. Bechtold with the Wind Surge. Again, Wind Surge. He's AA. But here, I got Bechtold put on 15-day DL. Because, see, he's still going to be injured for 1 to 2 weeks. But he was on the 60-day. So you want to activate him. But you got to get rid of him. And then so on and so on. So I would do the trash pander. So I would look and put Aguilar into the lineup if he's supposed to be in the lineup. Tony Kemp, yep, he'll be back in the lineup. He'll be injured for 1 to 2 months for Freddie Tarnick. Well, guess what? I still keep you on the 15-day disable list. He's got one of those injuries that he'll probably be back in about 45 days. So it all depends. Do you want to put him on the 60-day or you don't want? That's up to your discretion. That's what I like about this. This is what I like about the 30-team control. Place on bench, and then we're all good on that one. So now we're going to do the play here. And I think I have the Hook Stadium. I want to make sure I got the Hook Stadium. Yep, Whataburger Field. So we got the hooks, we got Whataburger Field. And before we even do this, we're going to do, we would do our little things here, right? So say I go here and I load my sliders, which are my gameplay sliders. Then I'm going to go into sliders and say I had, whatever. I got my 3 cards, and say my 1 card was computer contact up to 1. Stamina down 1 for the computer. And throwing air infield up 1. And then I did random.org. I did home. And I did this 1 through 10. And I got a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 7 there. So I'm going to confirm there. So we're going to confirm it. Would you save it? No. Cancel. Cancel. So for this game, I got those specific sliders on play. Now I'm going to play the full game. Got this. We got Whataburger Field. It's clear skies, but if it was rain, I would go back. I would back out of this, put my errors up, and put my wind up so that it would do that. Regional theme is great, right? And I don't like quick counts because I love the pitcher batter interface. That's the one great thing MLB The Show always pulls everybody in with. So I got Dre Jameson. They got this guy. Got all our guys here. Game time decision. Here we go. Brandon Bishop. If we put him in the lineup, he hasn't played. Okay, so we're going to replace player, and we're going to put Brandon Bishop to left field. Okay. I do like how they do say that as well. Guy hasn't played in a while or something like that. So we're going to advance. And of course, all these guys on the hooks are there because I put them there, right? And this lineup is the lineup I want to have. So that's a good thing there. And now here you can see with the stuff I got, with all my sliders and such.
Hello, baseball fans, and welcome. Minor league baseball.
You got generic music.
Level coming up. It's the Amarillo Sod Poodles taking on the Corpus Christi Hooks. All right, we'll be back to get this one started after this.
I don't know. Maybe that'll get flagged. I don't know.
Just about ready to go. And today's starting pitcher, Austin Hansen.
A really good outing for him last time. Scattered 2 runs, was attacking hitters, getting ahead in the count. Great performance. We'll see if he can do it again in this one.
Okay, all set to go. Now at the plate, Dominic Fletcher.
Leading off the ball game.
And like I said, with those sliders and everything,
Dominic Fletcher.
You can see I have no strike zone.
And a pitch. That one inside. And that's how this game gets started.
How many of you thought that was a ball? I knew it was a ball.
First pitch.
That's just what you get when you
The 1-0.
when you get this game going. And here's also like another franchise mode. Here's how I play. Some guys I'll go up and say, "Oh, today,
That one drifts
this guy is going to hit power swing." Okay? Like I'll do Blaze Alexander. He's not a power hitter, but today I'm just going to use power swing on him. Dominic Fletcher is my leadoff guy. I'm going to make him show some pitches.
There's
Right there, right down the middle. It's the 3-1.
Taking all the way there in that 3-0 count. It was a cookie right down the middle.
But the thing is
3-1.
he is my leadoff guy, and there.
So a leadoff walk.
And now that blackout is because it's a custom stadium. That's something that they got to fix the next game.
Issue once again early on.
Now we got Blaze Alexander, and so today,
That 600 slugging into context, the league average usually in the low 400s.
and he's got 9 home runs on the year, which is absolutely phenomenal for this dude.
Nobody out.
He does not have the power attributes to actually have that.
That misses, and that is ball 1.
But every time we swing, it doesn't matter. We're going to swing with the power strike on him.
And here it comes. Gonna count 1.
And there it goes. It's going to be freaking a whiff fest for him. So he might not have a great thing because he's swinging for the fences this game. Because for some reason, I just wanted to
And he deals.
see if I could get some more power out of Blaze Alexander.
Runner at first with no outs here.
Oh, and I
Started after the 1-2 pitch.
Nice check swing there.
Nope, he held back.
there are some guys that said the check swing's broken. I don't see it. I don't see it.
And the righty deals.
Ah, but I swung and missed because not only did I say I was going to do the power,
Mechanics there typically likes to shoot the ball.
but I got in that mindset that I was trying to power the damn ball. So guess what? I couldn't check that swing because I was using the power swing button.
Here's Braden Bishop.
So now we got Braden Bishop here. And say for Braden Bishop, this game, I'm like, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be first pitch swinging. There he is.
Swinging a ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. They get it in quickly. So first and second, now 1 out. And now here is Brad Zunica.
And you guys might remember Brad Zunica from my Baltimore Orioles.
First
And
off,
now
this is Batley for ball 1.
He is in the Arizona/Portland organization. And for him,
And that's
what I'm going to do is I'm going to approach it like the cleanup guy he
First
is.
and second.
So if I get into a hitter-friendly count, what I'm going to do
Next offering is in for a strike.
is I'm going to try to pull the ball, which means you take the right thumbstick or the left thumbstick, I'm sorry, and point it
The 1-2.
to about 3 o'clock.
Swing and a miss. The velocity blasted it right past.
And he got me because I was trying to directional hit, so I didn't have enough bat control on that one.
It's just become such a problem for hitters in more recent years. With all of the emphasis by pitchers on developing that spin rate, having a good grip on the baseball, those high fastballs.
And so for Corbin Carroll, I'm going back to my regular thing where I'm going to approach it like a baseball player. I want it in my zone. And for Corbin Carroll,
Some action here on this next pitch. Couple runners on.
his zone, he's a left-handed hitter who has power. So he's going right there. He wants it low. He wants a low ball.
Two out.
2-1 hitter count. Boom. But then again, look at that.
Fouled off, 2-2.
See that consistency and that control? I was way too early on that one. And that's the one good thing. That's the one thing, you know, with my sliders with me that really affects me.
Righty to the plate.
And now he comes right at me with the heat. So he freaking threw that slow breaking ball. And now he's got me at 2-2.
And the right-hander deals. 3-2 now.
And right there, that could have caught. That could have caught that outside strike zone. Or I could have chased it thinking it was going to be coming down. That one was a strike, and you got to protect with 2 strikes. Now it's 3-2. There's 2 outs, so we're going to have the runners go.
Left-hand hitter waits.
And that one is not going to be necessary. And there, you can see it. Look at that.
Run it down.
Look at that reaction, see? That's exactly an appropriate reaction, the way it should go.
2-0.
Gets the job done as he brings home a pair. Nice line drive to the pull side, met it out front, but just stayed through it nice enough and ripped it into the outfield.
Here's the third baseman, Drew Ellis. And he swings and misses at the initial offering.
Now with Drew Ellis, I might want to just basically go try to pull it because I popped it up. Because you can see the flags waving out there to left field.
Is the inning. But they'll pick up a couple runs here, both coming on this 2-run double. It's now a...
So we had a nice successful inning there.
We go to the bottom of the first. And pitching in this game, Dre Jamison. Lots of punch-outs, a real strikeout artist singing.
Boog, 8 solid innings this last time out, picked up the win.
See, and then you can see some of the...
Catch with his catcher the way he did, doesn't shake off. I think we'll see more of the same.
You can see some of the statistics. Like, there's strikeout artists. He's got 59 strikeouts in, what, 50-something innings? That is a strikeout artist in my franchise. And you can see how hard this is.
Don't give that other team any hope. You just hope that he can get through this inning, get the bats back up there.
Now, we got the API there. Now, this is what we're going to do with the... There we go. Now, he's calling for 3. And if we really want to do on the directional pad, the thumb pad, if I wanted to see... Right there. So I press to the right and RB, just in case you didn't know. So 4-seam is 1, sliders 2, knuckle curve 3, and my circle is 4. So he wants a knuckle curveball. So I'm going to throw that one on the outside.
The next pitch misses. 2 balls, no strikes.
And I did the wrong button.
He needs to make is his target.
There we go. Now we got a fastball. Now he's just putting the fastball down 1. So to me, that means I can go... I want to throw it up in the zone.
The 2-0 is in for a strike.
But my consistency didn't allow me. And now, see, now he's pointing down. So if he's pointing down 1, and then he hits the inside of his right thigh, that means he wants it down and outside. That's where I'm going to try to aim it for. That's what I got. All right, now he wants the circle change. Now I got X. He's not telling me where he wants the circle change. He's just telling me to throw it. So the circle change, I'm going to try to do outside.
The pitch.
See if it'll dip inside.
On the ground to the right
and there we go.
And he handles it himself for the out.
Batting second.
Let's take a look at the lineup. And so far this year, this has not been a very good offense.
Well, in this day and age, if you can't slug and get on base, that OPS...
Again, he's got that, so but here he just threw a fastball, so I'm going to throw it inside. Not going to throw... Oh! And there's that pitching consistency, and he did not like that one. He did not like that one going behind him. He's still jawing. Easy now. All right, so he wants me to throw it low and inside now, so we'll throw it low and inside. Nope, behind him again.
Gets out of the way.
he's getting ready to charge the mound. And there we can see the pitcher consistency is just not doing it. So
next pitch misses outside. And now 3-0. Just a few pitches in, but not very sharp on the mound in the home half of the first.
But when you can score some runs for your pitcher in that first inning, you really want him to
And he walked him.
shut that other
And
team
that's
down.
where the pitcher
So you guys
consistency
get back in the
really
dugouts.
comes into play.
You've obviously got some hot sticks in the early part of this.
And it's really tough because I am
Four-pitch walk, and guy at the plate was not gonna
I
let
am
him
going
swing and
for
take
that
out
area,
Next to him,
but it's very, very
Alex
touchy.
McKenna.
So now he's doing fastball down low, so we're going to do down low
And
here.
1-0.
And Jameson is having a bad day. He cannot hit it. And that's and what oh, I forgot that we do have this current shift. Got to do this defensive thing. So you got to make sure that you only do it for the batter. And again, if I do normal here, guess what? This is another thing they got to fix. Because look, he's still on the bag.
Kickoff boot first. Degotti.
If I want to play him off the bag, I should be able to, but you can't do it in this iteration. So we're going to do the double play. High fastball, and Dre Jameson cannot hit a damn thing. And he's having a bad day. So not only with my sliders on my roster, does it make it harder? You know, I drew a walk. You saw I drew a walk. You saw I struck out. And now I'm having a terrible job pitching.
He's known to have exceptional stuff. The strikeout number is usually way up there. However, he does have some issues with walks from time to time.
And that's exactly where these sliders and this kind of franchise thing, that's exactly what it takes into account. Like, I can aim. I'm aiming exactly where I want it. But guess what? Jameson is incapable of getting that done.
Foul ball.
So now I'm going to call off, and I'm going to do a knuckle curve, which is my third pitch.
Got it. And there's two
And we got a
away.
strikeout.
Just locked him up right there for the second out, and that's an at-bat he's probably going to be thinking
Batting
about for a
fifth.
little while.
So we got that
Trigger.
once again.
Go down
Fastball.
to the RBI spot, so now you got to hope your teammate behind you can pick you up.
That was supposed to be up and in.
Takes a ball here as he stands in now.
Can't do it. Wants a
First
fastball,
and second,
which
two
makes
down.
me say I could throw it anywhere. So I'm going to throw it outside.
Next one misses. 2 balls, no strikes to count.
And because of that, the pitch
Slider,
can get high
you gotta
and
see
not
the break, so
consistently
I'm gonna
deep into
aim
ball
this
games
for,
you
like,
would expect for a guy who can
The
get
catcher's
so many
left
swings and
arm.
misses.
So it comes in.
Next
Oh,
one off the plate
just missed.
inside. 3-0. And a pitch.
And he wants a slider on 3-0, and I don't know how I hit that, but that is...
stuff, right? I mean, he's got to harness all of that electric stuff and keep it at least somewhat in the strike zone.
Yeah, I'd say a guy like this sometimes needs to simplify the repertoire instead of trying to throw 3 and 4 pitches.
And he wants a
just stick with
fastball,
2
and he's
pitches
pointing
that are
down,
very
so I go
effective.
down low.
Keep the pitch count.
And there you go.
That's strike 3.
And that is
third out.
and there we go. And that's
Take a break.
Couple of strikes.
and that's a perfect. That shows you perfectly, like with the sliders that I'm using and all that kind of stuff. I hit a nice gap double. You saw that double. It went over the fielder's head. How many times have you seen that? But because of his reaction, he didn't really beeline to it or hold it for a single. He didn't really. I wish I could see like one of the computer guys hit a double, and you would see that he would hold up at first, or he would be safe at second. But other than that, I mean, and you saw Dre Jameson. Dre Jameson, talented pitcher, but again, he's one of those pitchers that will strike out. He walked 2 and he struck out 2 in the first inning. That's what you want when you play. You want to be frustrated at someone like Dre Jameson if, you know, he's having a typical day. Sometimes he won't. He'll only walk like 3 guys in 5 innings. But if you're not, if you want a franchise that's kind of accurate, if you want a franchise where it's a challenge where you're like, I'm not walking enough I'm not walking enough computer players, stuff like that, then I would suggest that you do stuff like that with the classic view and all that kind of good stuff. Other than that, that's it. Thank you for joining me. Have a great one.
Strikeouts with runners